welcome to LexTalk, World Talk Show presented by Clickaway Creators. Today we have Mr. Akshay Shah with us. Akshay is a young, dynamic, and emerging lawyer from Mumbai who's the founder of Akshay Shah and Associates. His practice primarily focuses on civil law, property matters, environmental law, criminal law, and commercial arbitration. Akshay works on client bases wherein all the needs start from discovery of all the past documents, papers, legal opinion, and legal drafting, and finally to present a matter before a court of law and put forward apt arguments before the court of law. He has extensive experience in sectors including intellectual property, disputes, infrastructure, not only this, but insurance, environment, government tenders, and the list goes on and on. Akshay has represented and advised and acted in various high-stake matters and matters which led to landmark judgments being passed by the courts of Bombay, Delhi, and India. I can go on and on, of course, as we have already introduced Akshay. Without any further ado, let me just call him here. Hello, Akshay. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I am good. Thank you. Thank you for asking, Akshay. We're really glad to have you on board with us today. And it would be great if you can shed some light on the journey, the legal journey so far.
I'm delighted to be on the board. And to begin with, I started my career when I was in the third year of my law before getting the Sanad, what we call as the Indian license to practice. I used to work in the district courts, and then I got opportunities to, when I cleared and when I got my Sanat, I would join the chambers of Mr. Sood and Mr. Patkar, who helped me around to get myself start in the courts of Bombay and Delhi. And that's how I began myself.
Wonderful, Akshay. Thank you so much. With that, I would really like to ask you an unfair question, which is if you can throw light on a complex issue that you worked on. I know it's very unfair. I know it already. You don't have to mention it, but we would really like to know about any complex issue that you have worked on, which will help us understand that how did you approach it.
Recently, I'm working on this legal issue wherein several government departments are responsible for that. I mean, the issue is concerning the health of thousands of people, wherein I have extensively conducted research about how the Indian laws have developed for this topic and what practices are being followed up by other countries of the world. Only after which I was in a position where I was self-assured to get justice for thousands of residents. And eventually now the matter is sub judice, so I would not like to comment on that. But yeah, I think we are in a good position as of now. And in another land matter, there were various people trying to lay their claims before various courts and departments of India. In order to get to the crux of the matter, I had to verify the documents dated to 1940s, and those documents were obtained from revenue offices of India, and some of them had to be obtained from the authorities of neighboring countries as well. And yeah, finally I could get to know who were the actual descendants of those people who were trying to lay their claims. And finally I got to know the original partition which had occurred between them in the year of 1942. And then accordingly I took forward my case, and eventually I'm now in a position to get good justice for my client.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Akshay. Now, we would really also like to know that what are your views on this, hybrid mode in the legal space, which is, of course, very new. And do you think when courts have started with remote proceedings and everything, is this like a sustainable and a possible way to increase the access to justice?
I would say every coin has two sides. I mean, likewise, the shift is the need of the hour. And in fact, this can help many people living in remote areas to reach the courts of law. But again, most of the lawyers and authorities in remote areas do not have enough means, bandwidth to access the court proceedings virtually. The courts of India are aware about this, and the authorities are trying their best to improve the infrastructure and availability of the resources to the needy, even in the remote areas. I mean, if you have read the judgments, recent judgments, we could have find that yeah, courts are looking forward to it.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your views on this. And with that, when we are actually talking about the access to justice, how would you rate the current legal system's drive towards encouraging this access? And do you think there is like a tangible movement in closing the justice gap that we have?
To be very frank and candid, I would rate it 2 out of 5 because when it comes to the retirement or the farewell speeches, which most of the judges or maybe advocates, I mean, give, they come out with very good and informative suggestions for the court, governments, and authorities, which are very appealing and are often praised. But all I would say that when the same person is in power, that person discourages or maybe prevents the officers and authorities from increasing the gap. I mean, in some of these cases, the officers are using their powers to make it impossible. Recently, if one of the justices of Madras High Court had said that 90% of the police force and police officers are corrupt. So now they are saying to the government that let's sensitize our forces. So unless this thing happens, I don't think the legal system is going to be much more, what we say, transparent
Mhm.
picture ready.
All right, perfect. Okay, thank you so much for answering that question, Akshay. Now, as we're already talking about how technology is playing a very important role in the legal world, so in this era of legal technology, if I can put it that way, what are the most commonly used tools for you?
Legal technology. I use daily legal articles that have come up on the net, subscriptions to weekly summary of judgments of concerned topics on which I am working currently. Uh, Manupatra is what I use. Indian Kanun is the legal database which I use or my office uses. PDF tools like Adobe, Foxtage, Reminders, Google Workspace, and Cloud. I mean, that's the answer to this question.
Great. Now, we have talked about a lot of things. We have talked about access to justice. We have talked about how the pandemic has impacted us and how we are making things better with time. How we are getting accustomed to it, and at the same time, we have also talked about your journey as a legal professional. Uh, we are coming to an end of this amazing conversation, but before I let you go, there's just one question I would like to ask, Akshay. As we know that time is money in any profession, and in legal it's most of all. um, how do you actually ensure that you make the most of your time, the best of your time as a lawyer? I mean, is there anything that you do differently, and you can help our audience also with some tips?
To be very frank, I struggle to balance my social and I mean work life. As a practicing lawyer, most of the day goes in the courts, and after that, we have to schedule our meetings, go through recent judgments, and prepare ourselves for the next day's matters. So I do try to balance my work life and social life, but I feel none of the practicing lawyer in today's time would be having a perfect timetable to balance both. I try to compensate this thing, the social life during the court vacations and holidays. I mean, other than that, it is very impossible for us.
Thank you so much, Akshay, for answering all the questions, and not only that, but sharing great insights with us. Uh, we have come to an end of this conversation, but I'm really looking forward to some other chats like these on some other trending topics in the legal space. So it was lovely having you. At the same time, for our viewers, please like and share this video, and do not forget to subscribe to ClickAway Creators YouTube channel to appreciate what we do, and you have more coming from industry legal leaders like Akshay himself.
Thank you.
This is Bharti for LexTalk signing off. Take care.